Hi, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Estes. I am the Director of Student Entrepreneurship and Innovation. I'm brand new to the school, only a couple months, and I have been so excited to speak with the students, with the staff, and with the faculty about all the amazing things that are going to be happening. And so I wanted to introduce you guys to the wonderful two men here today.
Hi, my name is Chris Lange. I'm the engineering manager here at CEWIT, which is the Center of Excellence in Wireless and Information Technology. My background here is I'm actually a Stony Brook alumni. I studied computer science in undergraduate, and while I was studying, I performed research here at the center, and I've been working here in a full-time capacity for the past 9 years now.
Great.
To Patrick.
Yeah, how are we doing, everyone? My name is Patrick Farrell. I'm a third-year junior here at Stony Brook University, studying computer science, and I'm kind of here to talk about my experience in bridging that theory that we learn in class to the world of everything else, to entrepreneurship, and my experience in hackathons and everything else. So we all have to talk about.
Okay, so speaking of hackathons, I wanted to go over, so today we're at the high school hackathon here at CEWIT. What exactly is a hackathon? Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, sure. So hackathons are really just an opportunity for students to take the knowledge they have in the classrooms and bring it outside of class. So in a hackathon, you're really working for a set period of time. So whether that's 24 hours, whether that's 43 hours, like at the college level, or even today where we have this high school hackathon, which is more of a condensed version, which is like a 5-hour hackathon, is really to come to an event with an idea and walk away from the event with either an MVP or a different type of product, like a minimal viable product, where you can say, I made something, I learned something, and I really am engaging with new, team members and faculty members, and take that knowledge and build something within that short period of time. So it's really, it's not a semester-long project. It's not a class. It's really just within one day. Where can you start and where can you end?
And I love that the entrepreneurial spirit gets sparked here. Tell me a little bit about your experience with hackathons.
Of course. So my first one, being Hack at CEWIT here, was super exciting. I was very nervous, to be completely honest here. And I came and I wanted to participate. I didn't think I was going to win, right? I just wanted to learn as much as I can, meet as many people as I can, and kind of, experience it, have fun. So I came here, made a great project, and overall ended up winning. So super exciting. It sparked. I was like, wow. I can really do this. This is something that I can do. And I loved it. It's as Chris just said, it's a shorter time period. So you can only commit for a certain amount of time, but also it makes it a little bit less stressful, right? Because you're not working on it for an entire semester.
Absolutely. And I think we talked about it. You've been to multiple hacks, correct?
Yeah. So this is coming up this weekend. It'll be my 7th one. I've traveled all over the world, not actually the world, the country for it. But hopefully the world soon. We'll see. So I've been to many of the places like Miami, Florida, NYU in the city. I've had the 3 at Stony Brook. I love all of them. They have a special place in my heart. And yeah, so all over the country, and met so many great people and learned so many things.
And when it comes to hacks, I'm pretty sure they could be any type of industry, correct?
Yeah. So the cool thing with hackathons, for me at least, is really that it is that cross-disciplinary thing. So it's not just students are involved in STEM. It's artists, musicians. We've had students who come from all these different majors and work with other students who can complement their skills, right? So maybe Patrick's like a great coder. Maybe I can, sing. And now how can we put those skills together and actually build a project and really work? And just like you had a great point where there's a little bit less fear about experimenting, right? Because it's a condensed event, it's just a short duration. You can kind of try a different thing, and if it fails, it was just a weekend project, right? You hopefully learn something, you take something away from there, and there's not that whole stress of like, I've been working on this for months and months, and if it doesn't work out, that this is a safe space to experiment. I think that's something that's really cool, and it brings in students who might not necessarily have done it before, right? So if it's their first time going to a hackathon, they can come in and they're like, I've never even heard of this. This, first time I'm hearing about it because my major doesn't really have those. They'll come to these hackathons and they have that space to experiment, I think.
And I love the way that you say that it's not super committal. And I think with hackathon, there's nothing bad that can come out of it. All you can do is learn, or you can get money, or you can get funded, or you can get confidence. And so what I wanted to talk about is the community aspect of this and what we're trying to move towards Stony Brook with entrepreneurial culture and just that thinking as well. And I wanted to talk about your specific entrepreneurial background. Did it get sparked at this hackathon, or did you have it all along?
Yeah, so I've been very entrepreneurial since a young age. I've been fortunate enough. I've had like different business ventures. In high school, I used to buy and resell shoes. So that kind of sparked my interest in it. And I kind of discovered computer science too. And a lot of times when I have an interest, I try to take that interest and apply it to computer science and make some project or make something in it, because that's when you have the most fun. So I kind of took that and I learned about computer science, and I was trying to figure out like how I can make, have my entrepreneurial background with computer science. And hackathons kind of sparked that for me. because I realized, okay, this is where I can build an actual product. Whereas like in school, right, you do research, other stuff like that, which gave me the tools I needed to in order to make this happen. But kind of CEWIT and hackathons in general kind of gave me that ability.
And what made you choose Stony Brook to pursue this?
Yeah, of course. So Stony Brook has been always like had a special place in my heart. I'm a commuter on Long Island, and it's kind of always where I wanted to end up being. And because obviously there's so many resources here and a great computer science program, a great, all disciplines, but there's just so many resources that you can have in every sort of different subsection of computer science. And so many resources. So overall, I'm very happy here.
That's awesome. And I know with the hackathon, you won. What were some of the great things that you saw come from that win?
Yeah. So again, like for me, the priority is learning, and that's really what I value the most. So learning, networking, meeting all different kinds of people. One of the great things too is at CEWIT, I met a company called SRC, which is a defense contractor up in Syracuse, New York. And so I was fortunate enough to talk to the VP of engineering, actually, funny enough, which I didn't realize at the time, like how high up he truly was. But that's because he was so nice and so genuine. And I ended up meeting him and kind of talking to him about what I did and all stuff like that. And he offered me an internship. So I spent the summer up in Syracuse, New York, as a software engineering intern. And that was a really great experience. I even continued working throughout the semester remotely until January of this year. And overall, it's just been an amazing experience.
Awesome. I love, since I'm brand new, I think that I'm trying to get this culture and trying to understand students. I came from a previous university where each sector of students are going to be completely different. Chris, I had a question about, since you've been here for a while, and what do you see on the horizon is happening currently at Stony Brook? How are you seeing all this momentum?
Well, I think, as we're here at the high school hackathon, what I really love is how Stony Brook has the engagement across the entire tri-state area. We're connecting with not only companies, so we've been doing CEWIT, I think, for around 9 years now. And it's really blossomed into such a large event, but we have a community engagement side of all of that. So I think that as we bring in different students, we are also bringing in different, ways of thinking and really just blossoming between industry, academia, and the local community and seeing, what are the challenges that we're facing today, right? So CEWIT previously had the New York Climate Exchange Hackathon, right? And the students that were engaged there, they're solving problems about, climate and water management. And it's so interesting to me because, I didn't have that background at all. And I thought about, this is a challenge that someone is actively working on, and students might not even be aware. So when we pitch that to students and they hear about these different things, it's really exciting to me how you can see there's a lot of challenges out there in the world, and how can Stony Brook kind of, move to help address those challenges? What can we do with our skill set, with our knowledge, and with our community to really address all of the problems, not just within our one area, but, all of the challenges of the world that are being brought into this. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, I think that's it. I love that you talk about the challenges, solution, figuring out what these problems really are. And, speaking of challenges, I would love to know your experience. Obviously, Stony Brook's been phenomenal in your ability to grow these companies and grow this mindset. What challenges have you experienced as a student or as a young person trying to get into this new field?
Yeah, of course. So as a whole, like one thing that a lot of students struggle with, but definitely like when you go an entrepreneurial route, is just making sure you have support, right? So one thing that's super beneficial is to be able to have people to talk to, like here at CEWIT, who can help me in my ventures, even if they're unrelated, right? They have nothing to do with CEWIT, but they want to hear to help me and to help me develop. And so that's something that I really, really benefit from and really appreciate from you guys. So.
Okay, so I remember when I started my first company, my parents were like, "What on earth?" Do you have a lot of support, or are you kind of almost pitching your family or your friends on what these ventures are, because they are one day maybe customers? Yeah,
so both my parents are educators. They're high school teachers. Okay. So it's super interesting balance, right? Because they're very supportive of me, but they don't understand everything, right? They're not software engineers. They're not, they don't own their own business or anything like that. So it's an interesting balance, but definitely very supportive. And yeah, there's just so much.
And then if I could just springboard, I really feel like one of the cool things about CEWIT and the environment that we're building here is that, if Patrick comes to the hackathon, he'll meet the entrepreneurs that we have, incubator companies who are involved in CEWIT. We have these different industry partners, and those type of interactions, it's kind of like, brushing shoulders in the hallway when you're walking through the hackathon. You're like, oh, I just met the VP of engineering. Well, that's cool. That might not have happened if you didn't take the, step outside the classroom, go to these different events, go to these different networking. And that's just something that I've always loved, living within the innovation park. It's really just, you never know who's going to walk in that door and how you can work together. And from the student side too, because even when I was in my undergrad, it was something where, you go to your classes, but then what is happening outside the classroom? What are the companies doing? What is the industry doing? And then this gives you just such an opportunity to kind of meet with them and just say, oh, hey, this is what I'm working on. Tell me more about what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's so many industries that I did not even know exist or that were that big. Like between, healthcare, I know there's here, different kinds of defense tech. There's so much different stuff that you can work on that I didn't know was even here. And so it's just such a great experience.
It's in, especially with when your network, I always try to explain to students that you will not be going to classes forever, but you're going to be networking, and you're going to be in these uncomfortable positions of trying to get to know people. What advice would you give students on really putting yourself out there and maybe taking those small steps?
Yeah, exactly. So to start off, right, you have to be out in order to see people, right? If you're just, in your dorm or wherever, you're not going to meet anyone. So I think it's super important to get out there, go to events. And so once you do that, right, that's like kind of the easy step. Then when you see people, like they want to talk to you, first professional, right? If you work at CEWIT, right, you're going to want to talk to the students, want to engage with them. And so to just go up to them, be like, hey, how's it going? My name's Patrick. Like, this is what I do. They'll be more than happy to hear from you. So just take that jump. They want you to come up to them. So just, go talk to them.
Yes, we can definitely confirm that we do want to talk to the students. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming today and sitting down and talking. I definitely want to make sure that we let you guys know about the hackathon that we're going to be having. It's obviously a yearly thing, but we'll be doing that in October. And we're always looking for industry partners and wisdom partners through at CEWIT and through research and innovation. We're on a new cusp of some really awesome programming and culture shifts, and we'd love to have everyone a part of it. But thank you for being here.